you like to continue?
Yes, so there's a Maori Pacific admission scheme which sets aside a number of places for Maori Pacific students to gain admission into the School of Pharmacy. So that's how I gained admission. I was also a returning student, so I'd already completed a Bachelor of Science. So that was part of my application, so I just had to get in.
How long did it take you
It's
to
a,
do the pharmacist training?
it's a 4-year degree and then a 1-year internship. So once you graduate, you have to go and work under
So
the
after you did
supervision.
your Bachelor's of Science,
Mhm.
you had to do another 4 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dedication from you,
Yeah.
time-wise.
Yes, yeah. At the time, it was a big decision because once I finished my Bachelor of Science, I hadn't really decided on my career yet. But like as I said, working at the pharmacy over the summer was what convinced me to go back to university. So, but once I realised that I had a real passion for pharmacy, it didn't seem so bad going back for another 4 years.
Natalia, a lot of the Malay audience were probably around my age, mature people, but what message would you like to give these parents regarding their children in line with your field of work?
Do you mean in terms of
Being a
being a
pharmacist?
pharmacist?
I think some want to be a pharmacist.
Yeah, it's a very rewarding profession. So, and it's nice to be in a position where I can help all sorts of people, and like the majority of our customer base are because young people don't get very sick, so they'd be in your age group, and so it's really I find it very rewarding to be able to serve the community and serve our people, with in terms of health and advice, and then also maybe as a role model for their children, and younger people coming up looking for a career, looking for guidance. Pharmacy it's a great profession. It's a very rewarding career path, and it does take a bit of work. It takes a bit of time, but I would encourage anyone, if they're interested in it, then to go for it, and encourage your children to just to study. Studying anything is going to get you far. Yeah.
Were there any tears when the fresh shaver went through the head?
From my mum, yes,
She
Dorothy.
cried.
She
Mum
cried.
cried.
She did, yeah.
Where was the head shaving done? The
It was
head
just
shaving
done here, actually. It was just done outside. Yeah. My uncle is a hairdresser, so he shaved it for me. So Uncle Davey, yeah. So that was good. It was nice having family, and so we invited a few people to come and join the shaving. But a lot of them were family and friends, so it was very nice to just very nice atmosphere.
Shave for a cure. And the money that's raised goes towards helping families of people with cancer.
Yes, and just helping with education and research, and it's a nice charity. Yeah, their website shaveforacure.co.nz or .org.nz. It's got a lot of
So this is a yearly event?
a yearly event. Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else in the audience who will be so inclined to shave for a cure? Coming up, what, February, March?
Yeah, it's normally the middle of March they have the
Middle of
shave.
March. And so if they go into the website, they'll be able to get the
Yes, all the information. If they just search for Shave for a Cure.
Shave for a Cure, one word?
Yes. Yeah. Or should be right. I think you're fine. Yeah.
Natalia. Excuse me. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Take your time. The editor will chop.
God. You're a young woman. Would I be fair to say to the audience that you're available, eligible and available? Or have you been spoken for?
Not spoken for, no.
Not spoken for. There you are. Any young man out there? We're not looking for Mr. Lava Lava, we're looking for Mr. Right.
Yes. And if you like short hair.
Someone? Would you like for them to be someone?
Preferably, yes.
Preferably. Someone young man. We've got a young someone lady here who is independent, has the means and the profession. Yeah. Come by. Who knows, you may need cough mixture or a moisturizer for your contact lenses. Just call in. You never know what else is in the shop unless you come in. Natalia, being New Zealand born, did you feel Samoan all the way through, or did you feel more Palani than Samoan?
I think thanks to my parents, I probably have the best of both worlds. So I always identify myself as Samoan, first and foremost, you know. And I think because both my parents grew up and spent most of their lives in Samoa, I would always say that I'm Samoan. But growing up in New Zealand obviously is completely different to growing up in Samoa. So yeah, unfortunately my Samoan is not very good, so it's something I have to work on. But I still identify myself as Samoan, and yeah, it's good.
Are you aware of the another group of Samoans where a lot of New Zealand-born Samoans are saying that they don't belong to the Samoan community, that they're different?
Yeah.
Are you aware of it, and what do you think of it?
Not me personally. I can understand that disconnect because I know a lot of Samoan-born, New Zealand-born Samoan have never actually been to Samoa, and I might have felt a bit like that before I went back to Samoa, and it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that was the first time I went back to Samoa. But once I got there and I saw what Samoa is really like, because obviously you come to New Zealand, you adjust to the way New Zealand works and the culture here. But once I went to Samoa and I saw the way Samoans live and got in touch with it felt like home. I got there and it was I felt like I was home, even though it was my first time there. So I think that's what I always advise to anyone who feels that disconnect. I always say, go to Samoa, go see your family, go see the way Samoans live, and then maybe you'll feel a bit more like you belong. Yeah.
Because that's a dilemma I'm having, working in the community and in many cases consulting with government departments. We found that the government wants to hear about things from Samoans, their opinions, and then there's this other sector of the New Zealand-born Samoans who are saying, no, we're not Samoans. It saddens me because I have 5 children who were all born in New Zealand, and I don't see that with them.
No.
They don't even say like they're like you. And I'm quite encouraged that there are young people like you and my children who don't think otherwise.
No.
They just think themselves as Samoans.
I think sometimes it's hard though, because the Samoans in New Zealand, having come over to this country and having to like when my parents came, which is probably the same time you came, it wasn't so widely accepted being Samoan. There were, it was
A lot of negative connotations.
Yeah, a lot of barriers that you had to push past to get to a point where now we have whole festivals that celebrate you know, being Pacific and all the different cultures in New Zealand. But you know, back in the 80s and this, you know, back then it was harder to kind of push past that. But maybe a lot of young people today, because they're not so aware of that, you know, the kind of not struggle, but just the barriers that were there for their parents and their grandparents. They had that disconnect. They just kind of feel like, you know, we've always been an accepted part of society, but it, you know, that took time, and it took you know, your generation and my parents to kind of, you know, put us on the map and, you know, make us mainstream part of New Zealand society.
Stereotyping Samoans as belonging in the factory and always with a tendency to crime.
Yes, yeah.
How did your friends view your parents, like your mom being a music teacher? Who hears a Samoan of a Samoan being a music teacher at that in New Zealand? And then your father will ask you the next question after that.
Yeah, it's. I suppose we were just different, you know. I think I never felt different, you know. Like I had a lot of, you know, Samoan, Tongan friends at school, but I don't know. You just kind of feel like you know, obviously you gravitate towards people like you, but I don't know that we were ever treated differently or we behaved differently. Maybe I'm not sure. But I think my parents maybe were a little bit different in kind of helping us kind of negotiate your way through that. You know, being set apart as Samoan, but still, you know, making your way in New Zealand society. You know, because obviously you know, they moved here for us to, you know, have more opportunities, and the opportunities come with, you know, assimilating, becoming part of, you know, instead of segregating yourself, you have to join in and be part of it. So it's a hard one, yeah.
Natalia, you did this for your dad, for your late dad. Do you want to tell us a bit about your father?
Yeah, so
Especially his profession,
yes.
because I'm sure now we can talk about it.
So my father was Marcellus Nu'u, and he was just the second Samoan policeman in New Zealand. His first was his brother Ivan. But he was probably the first Samoan speaking Samoan in New Zealand, and he was when he retired from the police, he was a detective sergeant. But in his career, he worked on a lot of high-profile cases. He was considered one of New Zealand's top policemen. He was a detective with the CIV. He also helped run the Onehunga police station for a while. I think like my passion for my career comes a lot from him. That he was very passionate about you know, police work and helping people, and so he's a real inspiration to me. He's probably I would say he was my best friend. So when he passed away in 2009, it was hard for all of our family, but he was just a very wise and intelligent gentleman. You know, he was very noble, and I feel very privileged that he was my father. And you know, being a policeman on top of that was just
bonus.
yes, yeah, helping people.
You know, when you see him in his uniform, were you scared for him or were you proud of him?
I didn't actually see him in his uniform very much. I think he was only in uniform for a short time, but just proud, yeah. I've seen the photographs, and it's just you can, you know, pick the brown face in the class. He actually he topped his class at police school. So that was down in Trentham. So just very proud. I think you know, policemen, they have a special place in heaven. You know, they really put this, you know, they
gave
themselves.
their lives.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and you know, to protect people yeah, very proud of my father. You know, what he's given to supporting our family and giving us the opportunities that we, you know, luckily that I've, you know, he gave me the opportunity to get to university and become a pharmacist, and then for my sister to, you know, get to university and become an accountant. So
Awesome.
yeah, so it's yeah, pride. It's probably yeah.
Did any of Mum's musical talents rub off on you?
Not really.
What do you play? Do you play any instruments?
I play a little bit of piano, a little bit of guitar, and a little bit of the flute. But she'll tell you I don't practice, which is why she gave up on teaching me. My sister is probably more the musician. She can play the flute and the piano a lot better than me. But it's all about practice. She tells everyone, and I never practice.
Natalia, just refresh our memories again with the name of this particular course that you shaved your hair for.
Yes, so it's Shave for a Cure, and it's for leukemia and blood cancer in New Zealand.
Why do you think this leukemia is almost like an epidemic now?
It seems so.
Do they know what causes leukemia?
Well, it's because it's a cancer of your blood, so a lot of it originates in your bone marrow. So I'm not very that well
Like, is
versed
it
on
the
the
food that
science.
we eat that causes it, or?
It's very hard to
virus
say.
or what?
I don't know. They're still doing a lot of research to try and see what causes it, what we can do to kind of avoid, you know, or reduce our risk. I mean, with age, we always, and I think our lifestyles and our environment, there's all sorts of things that can contribute to these sorts of things. But at the end of the day, it's I'm not sure really what we can do. It's but one of the other things that I learnt about was the bone marrow registry, which is what if you go to donate blood, they often ask if you'd like to go on the bone marrow registry. So sometimes a bone marrow transplant is a way to treat and sometimes cure, well, not quite cure, leukemia. Because sometimes it's your bone marrow is not making the right blood cells, or your blood cells aren't being made properly. So if you get a bone marrow transplant, sometimes that can help, you know, people with leukemia. So one of the big problems they have is they don't have enough Pacific Island donors. Yeah, because we're such a small part of the global community. There's only a few of us. When it comes to bone marrow matching, if you're not a direct match with your family or your close family, the next best thing is to find someone of your ethnicity. But there are a lot of young people that they can't find matches for, obviously, because there aren't
Not very many of
Pacific
our
Island donors. Yeah, I mean, I just joined the registry last year, so I heard about it. And,
Wow. Perhaps that is something we can take to the community in Auckland.
yes, yeah.
You know, to consider, because they never know.
Yes.
It can be a niece and a nephew the next day who would need the bone marrow.
Yes, yeah. And it doesn't hurt. All they do is they take an extra blood sample, and then they test it, and then they keep your sort of your profile on the computer, and then if someone comes up that they think might be a match for you, then they'll test it to see if you're a match, and then it goes on from there. So it's a bit involved if you have to, if you are a match with someone, but just, I mean, it's a small operation if you can help save a life, really. So,
Natalia, thank you so much for your time and for such important information. I'm sure our audience, our Limalai audience, not only appreciate your generosity in shaving the hair for such a worthy cause, but also will appreciate the learning from what you just talked to us about.
thank you.
After telling our God please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.